What's up, guys? Today we're reading chapter 6 of this Spain Sounding field book by Neil Rackham. If you haven't really read the book or read the Spain Sounding, please go get one. That's a really good book. And let's get to it. If you haven't read the prior chapters, I put that in the playlist. You can just go and watch it yourself. And let's go. Chapter 6. Focusing on buyer's needs. Okay, yeah, that's what I need really. Focus on buyer's needs. We have your situation questions, and then we'll go to the problem questions. The problem questions will uncover implied needs. It's a clear statement of a buyer's problem, dissatisfaction, or difficulty with the current situation. And then we'll go into the implication questions, and then need to pay off questions that will the seller, the buyers are going to tell you the explicit needs, what a clear statement, what they want, what they need, what they desire, what their intention is in certain transactions, and then what's the benefits, right? So that's our overall selling cycle. Overview. It's shorten a little bit. Okay. Overview. A need is an ending statement a buyer makes that expresses a concern or want that can be satisfied by the buyer. The two kinds of needs are key. What is a need? They have implied needs, a statement of a buyer's problem, dissatisfaction, or difficulties with the current situation. Explicit need, a statement of a buyer's want, desire, or intentions to act. Customers or clients won't buy unless they have needs or wants that your product or service can satisfy, right? And in the research showed that in a large sale, there are two kinds of needs relevant very differently to sales success. How do needs relate to the sales success, right? You might want to ask. So successful sellers uncover almost exactly the same number of implied needs as unsuccessful sellers. But successful sellers uncover twice as many explicit needs as unsuccessful sellers. So in larger sale, effectively developing explicit needs is a key to success. But first, you have to uncover and understand a buyer's implications needs, implied needs, problems, and dissatisfactions to have a raw material for your building the cell. Right. How can I tell an implied need from an explicit need? If the buyer's statements focus on the problem, dissatisfactions, or difficulty, it is an implied need, such as, I'm unhappy about a service delay. Breakdowns are a problem when I'm worried about the interest rates rise. If a buyer expresses a clear want or desire for a solution you can provide, it is an explicit need, such as, I want faster response. I really need 99% reliability. Ideally, interest will be a fixed ad. So that's what they design. So this is more like benefits as well. All right, check yourself. Focus on the buyer's needs. Okay, let me bring up my, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I think I can add text. There you go. Let's do it together. Which one is implied? Which one is explicit? I'm spending too much on postage each month. I think that's implied. Is that a problem? I don't know. Could be. I like a way to cut my postage cost. That's explicit. I'm looking for help to do a better job forecasting our sales. Explicit, because they're explaining what they really want. I worry about the increased competition from other contractors as implied needs. Okay, because you have your dissatisfaction, you have your concerns. That's going to focus on the implied needs, right? The buyer statement focuses on the problem, dissatisfactions, or difficulty is an implied need. The buyer statement clearly wants to desire for a solution you can provide is explicit. My car has been a lot of expensive repairs lately. Um, okay, that's implied. So what does that mean? Do you want? Is that a problem? I need a low maintenance car. Okay, you need something. You want something. That's explicit needs. Ideally, if we had the right equipment, we would be able to reproduce documents in full color. Ideally, that would be explicit need. Right? I want something. Our patients are complaining about having to wait an hour after they check in at the desk, and some have stopped coming. Is that an issue? There might be an issue. So implied need. We really need each team member to be able to send messages automatically to every other team member in the field. Okay, that's I really want something. I'm desire. Our communication system aren't as flexible as I would like. That's explicit. That's implied need. What do you need? Could be a problem. Yes. All right. So I get implied, explicit, implied, the first four. Implied, explicit, implied. That's great. And then the next 5 to 10, implied. That's right. 6, explicit. That's right. 7, explicit. That's right. 8, implied. Implied. That's right. 9, explicit. That's right. 10, implied. That's right. How many did you get right? I got all of them. All right. That's that. When in doubt, treat a need as implied needs rather than explicit needs. That's great. How needs developed, right? They're not going to tell you most of the time, so we want to develop those needs through our questioning. When potential buyers are sincerely and completely satisfied with the way things are already, they will feel no need to change. What's the first inkling of the need in any of us, right? We no longer can honestly say, hey, we feel 100% satisfied with the things they are, with the way with the way things are. And gradually, as our satisfaction grows, so does our needs for solution. What does it mean to be perfectly satisfied? There's another way to say that. You see no need whatsoever for change. Afterward, how could a change be better than something that's already perfect? A genuinely satisfied person is entirely happy with the way things are. Such a person feels no need for change and won't buy your products or services. Without needs, there are no sales. How do needs begin? What is the terms? What is that terms a perfect situation into one where a sale becomes possible? The first step towards change is that the perfect situation becomes not quite so perfect. The first few days of your brand new car may be perfection, but after a while, you notice annoying little dissatisfactions. There's a small rattle somewhere under the hood, a tiny scratch on the gleaming paintwork. There are minor irritations, not enough to justify buying a new car, but the process has started, right? Dissatisfaction, the underlying fuel that powers the development of needs, has crept into the perfect world of your new car. As time goes on your car age, more things begin to go wrong. It starts to look old, your dissatisfaction grows, instinctively you have the implied needs. is almost perfect. It's a little bit dissatisfied. My problem is getting bigger. I want to fix the things immediately. If I immediately the implied needs to explicit need. However, as you have seen, although implied needs may feel change, they are not enough to make major sales. After all, a majority of people may be somewhat dissatisfied with their cars, but it is a dissatisfaction that most of them can live with. It is only when their dissatisfaction becomes really severe that it translates into an intention to act. That's when they start to visit showrooms, read customer reports, and take a test drive. Their dissatisfaction has turned into an intention to change. Their implied needs, in other words, become explicit needs. So problems or needs must be developed before a potential customer will buy. That is, a problem must be identified, have urgency, and be translated into an explicit need, a clear, strong want or desire for a solution that you can meet with your product or services. It's, in simple sales, it takes like little skill or develop problems into the explicit need. In larger, more complex sales, it takes considerable skill and time to uncover and develop problems into explicit needs. Developing buyer's needs. Asking the spam questions in chapter 7 to 10 is actually a process of shared explorations and understanding focused on the buyer's proper needs and wants. Successful sellers have excellent questioning skills that they use to uncover and develop needs. Those skills are essential and are the essence of the investigating stage discussed in chapter 4. If you haven't watched chapter 4, go back. Okay? The biggest mistake that less successful sellers make in developing needs is to respond to an implied needs by prematurely introducing their solution. Do not introduce your solution until you really understand the whole thing. In contrast, successful sellers continue to ask questions. They keep uncovering and developing a buyer's implied needs until explicit needs emerge. In fact, in a large or complex sale, jumping too quickly to a solution before needs are fully developed may lose you the sales altogether. Why shouldn't that be? Why should that be? The value equation. Oh, that sounds like Alex Hormozy. When someone faces a decision to buy, they have a balance to opposing factors: the seriousness of the problem and the cost of the solution. Right? You have two, two sides. How much does it cost? Is it really justifiable? In a small cell, cost is low enough that even superficial needs can tip the balance. In a large and more complex cells, the severeness of the problem has a clearly outweighed the high cost of a solution in order for the customer to buy. Well, that's strong. That's true. For example, when pocket calculators were first introduced, they created instant satisfaction. I implied need with the bulkiness and inconvenience of large desk calculators. But just as important, the cost of a new calculator was less than one-fifth of the cost of the original desk model. So the pocket calculator offers a lot of capabilities for very little money. In other words, they offer very good value. The cost was so low that implied needs was sufficient to tip the balance in favor of purchasing. Right? Calculators were a typical small cell, where dissatisfactions, implied needs, in other words, was enough to create sales. If you think that the value equation from Alex Hormozy he shared, so it's like the fast, the low cost, and how fast you can deliver is actually the value. the cost is low, and the faster way you did it, deliver it. So it's like a minute is like crazy, forensic of the value you are providing. Let's see if it gets in here. There you go. You have your satisfactions, buy, don't buy, and such. The value equation and a large sale. The value equation helps you see the larger sale from the buyer's perspective. If the buyer's perspective, the problem is small and the costs are as high, it won't make the sale. But when the buyer sees the problem as being bigger than the cost of living, uh, as bigger than the cost of solving it, the person is likely to buy. When personal computers first came out, a simple desk model enabled a professional user to perform an array of financials and other technical analysis, develop and revise proposals and other documents, and perform a host of other functions geared to different industries. Those early PCs offer individual mainframe computer capabilities at a fraction of the old mainframe cost, but the overall cost of changing was still high compared with the cost of a calculator in the early example. That's correct. It's pretty pricey in early stage. Why did so many companies wait until the middle of the 1980s before changing their typing pools into word processing pools, and then wait even longer to buy PCs and network them for professional to use? Right? It's inconvenient. You want to buy it, but it's if you look at the scale, it's tiered towards the right, which is don't buy. It's too much effort. It's too much money to really solve these issues. It's not an issue yet. Okay, probably not serious enough. You see this, right? When the serious when there's a serious problems, lots of customer competition, lost quality, inefficiency, slow response, inconvenience. Okay, I need to spend more money to do it, right? Because if it's just inconvenience, it's not going to help. They wait until their dissatisfactions, their perception of the seriousness of their business problem grew large enough to tip the scale towards a decision to buy. When recessions forced the companies to answer questions on how they operate, they came to realize that lost quality, lost cycle time, fewer skilled personnel, and increased competitions were causing them to lose customers. They need to find a way to improve quality, gain flexibility, and use their resources much more efficiently and effectively. Once their problems were seen as serious enough, buyers look at the purchase PCs quite differently. We had once seemed like a luxury. What had once seemed like a luxury became a necessary and desirable solution, a way to resolve major business problems. Companies finally bought PCs because they perceived their problems as a matter of survival. They began to feel explicit needs for change. That's how you develop from implied needs to explicit needs. So the more explicit needs you can get, the better you can get. The higher the chance you can get a sale. Making the value equation work for your kind of sale. Whether you sell computers, flatbed trucks, or architecture design services, first ask yourself, what solution do I offer that is superior to the competition? What I offer. The answer becomes an explicit need that you and your buyer to express. You want your buyer to express. To achieve this, you must focus your spin questions so that they uncover one or more implied needs that you can develop into that explicit needs you can meet. Work backwards to the problems. Implied needs. It is hard. I'm unhappy with. I got a problem with this. Your superior solution. I need somebody to take the loan over. I need somebody to release this debt, things like that. Often the explicit need for your solution results from several implied needs that you can develop. Example, I like an example. I need 2 hours response time for your firm can provide. Your solution that is superior to the competitors. If the system goes down, our customer are kept waiting. It costs us 3,500 for every hour of downtime. When the system is down, our operations grind to a halt. That's a problem. So working backwards to a problem. Now it's your turn. Start with a solution you offer that is superior to your competition, that you want your buyer to express as a needed, as express a need, right? List of specific buyer's problem that your solution can solve. Then you can use the spin quotient to develop the explicit need from those implied needs. So implied needs, like I have too much debt, too much stress. Okay, I can't make the next month payment, and the bank is foreclosing me. The lender is auctioning my house. And I have nowhere to go. I don't want my kids to sleep on the street. All right. So I need to express it. I need to sell the property and find a place to live. I think that might be good. All right. Next, beyond the basic buyer's needs, this chapter has covered the basic of the buyer's needs. In real life, developing needs can be a more sophisticated process, especially in larger sales. These sections and other, like chapter 7 to 11, offers guidance for handling more complex selling situations. Strategies for developing needs across several functions. In complex sales, the solution may cut across function areas or traditional lines of responsibilities. All the individuals in the affected functions must recognize that they have explicit needs before they will buy into your solution. But since each department has different responsibilities and performs different functions, it is unlikely that any two departments will have exactly the same needs. You can use two strategies to develop needs in a large account like this. You can use your probing and needs development skills to build each implied needs so that it becomes explicit. Even in relatively simple sales, the ability to develop needs in this way is likely to be an important factor in your success. That's right. You can increase the strength of the need in an account by bringing together smaller needs from several different people or departments. In a large account, successful sellers look at an entire business process or a cycle that cuts across functions. Then they uncover needs in each department and help buyers understand how the different needs are connected. A problem may exist in one department that an individual buyer would like to solve, but by itself it isn't large enough to justify the purchases. I need to highlight this. This is good. A problem may exist in one department that an individual buyer would like to solve, but by itself isn't large enough to justify the purchase. So the skilled seller will look for ways to link the individual problems into a single overriding one that affects the organization as a whole. So in the housing in the housing industry, right? We're doing auctions or foreclosure, trying to help people to stop the auctions and maybe release the debts, maybe. So there are multiple problems that may exist within that situation, right? You're behind on payments. What caused the behind? And are there anything else? Is more it probably not. I don't think asking the questions, are there anything else if is effective is going to be as effective questioning, but that can help you to uncover other needs, right? Other implied needs, and then we can enlarge that gather to a explicit needs. So that's pretty important. Once you have developed a size of significance of need beyond a single department's boundary, showing how your solution can help multiple departments or functions makes the needs larger and the cost more acceptable. And importantly, as this links is, the success of this strategy still rests on your ability to develop the needs of the individuals to you sell to. Before you can link needs, you have to uncover and develop them at an individual level. Sales may start with an explicit needs. In this chapter, we have treated development needs as if every need you meet when you sell starts off a minor dissatisfaction or gradually grows into explicit needs. However, in real business world, many sales start with an explicit needs. A buyer may tell you at your first meeting, for example, what I need is speed. And you are slower than the competition. In this case, in case like this, the sales start with an explicit need you can meet. Successful sellers handle by taking the buyer back to the implied and developing it another way, such as when you say speed, is that because you have a problem with the turndown time, or couldn't that turndown time result from the larger reset time that your current equipment requires? Well, oh, that's redirection, right? Well, I haven't thought about that. So if you had a machine like ours with very short reset time, wouldn't that solve the speed problem? Yes, it certainly would. In the next four chapters, you will learn how to use spin questions to uncover problems like those and develop them into explicit needs that your product or services can solve. Okay? And that's the end of chapter 6. So I think tomorrow, chapter 7, chapter 8, and chapter 9 is going to be very, very, very exciting because it sets the next four chapters. So stay tuned. And if you haven't really watched my other videos about this, go back and leave a comment down below. All right, bye. Peace.